I didn't take into account how busy October was. I actually did this party in October, the very end of October. And just around here, I'm in Ohio, by the way. So just so you know, we're not all in Nevada, like Jess said. Here I am living proof. So the day I picked wasn't the best, but I still had, I think I had 7 people show up, which is actually really good. I've had as many as 15 in my house before. So 7 was just about right. It actually worked out really nice. We had a lot of room to kind of spread out and relax. So, and then I was also very intentional with who I invited. I tried to invite people who had never come to a Scentsy party before. I tried to invite people who I thought would be potential hosts. For example, I had a girl who knew I sold Scentsy. She asked me, doesn't Scentsy sell diffusers? And I said, yes, we do. Because I was like, yes, I want you to buy a diffuser. And so I thought, oh, well, she'd be perfect for hosting because nobody just wants to automatically like pay $100 and some for a diffuser. But I thought, well, maybe she'll want to do a party and get a half off or, you know, less than 100. And so I made sure I was like, I'm inviting you. And then I also invited people who I knew it had been a while since they had bought and my regular customers who buy all the time. So, and that obviously for people who are newer, that's going to take you a little while to get that kind of in a rhythm of having people who regularly buy from you. But just keep at it and they'll eventually get used to, oh, I need more wax. I need to call my Scentsy lady. So, so for my party, I set it up with, I kind of did it on the cheap because at the time it was the end of the month and we hadn't gotten paid yet. So I did what I could to use what I had in my house, which I think is good because I like it to be repeatable when we give examples for stuff. So what I did was I prepared a few little extras that kind of, they just made it a little bit fancier, but it didn't cost me a lot of money. So first thing I did was I found all these ideas on Pinterest of like what to do for spa parties, and a lot of them were for little girls. So I had to kind of weed through a bunch of different ideas. But one thing I really liked was hot towels idea. And so I got these. These are little washcloth things. I got these from the Scentsy Success store, I want to say like a year ago. They don't have them anymore, but they were on clearance for like $2 for a 10 pack. And so I got 2 10 packs of them and it worked out perfectly. So what I did was I rolled them up, popped them in the crock pot with about 2 or 3 cups of water and left it on for an hour before the party. And so right there when they got there, if they wanted a hot towel, they could take a hot towel and throw it on their neck, on their legs, on their hands, whatever they wanted, which was just kind of like a little fancy thing to kind of do. But it didn't cost a lot of money because I already had a crock pot. Most people do. You could probably throw them in your Instant Pot too if you really wanted to. And washcloths, if you don't have a ton, you can get them on Amazon for like $1. So it's not like a huge expense. So, and then the second thing was setting the mood. I put on some new agey massage style music and played it over my speakers in my house. I have a large speaker in my living room for just that purpose because my kids love music. So for those of you who don't have a speaker or you don't have Spotify or you don't have something that's easy access to get your music, you can go to the library, you can get yourself a CD and throw it in a CD player and bring out the old boombox and carry it around on your shoulder or whatever you want to do. Excuse me, I am sorry. I have not coughed all day. And then as soon as I start talking, here we go. So, and then I also had my diffuser running. I have a personal diffuser that I use just for shows because I've been able to use half price and hostess credits from all the different parties and events I do to get an extra one that's just for shows. And so I pulled that one out. And then to kind of create a little bit of pre-party engagement, I put up a poll I did a Facebook event for people to RSVP. I put a poll up there to see what scent they wanted to have diffusing when they came into the house. So I think we voted on, it was one of the newer ones, like the, wow. It was one of the new ones that came out this season. I can't even remember what it was right now because my mind is going blank. But that was kind of neat because it was interesting to see the different people who wanted different things for their spa experience. For those of you who don't have a diffuser, but you want to have a nice smell going on in your house, use a warmer, use a wall fan diffuser or a mini warmer, whatever you can do to set that mood with the right scent. Perfect. And that's what Scentsy is all about too, because the smell sells. So let me see what else I did. Oh, okay. And then, okay, so the last thing I did to kind of make it fancy, if you will, is I took one of those breakfast in bed kind of tray things, and I put a placemat on it because I happen to have a fancy placemat laying around. And then I lined up all of my soaks. So for me, I'm a little obsessed with soaks. I had 6 different options for everybody to try from because I love them all. And for you, you don't have to have 6 out. You can pick out one. You can have people vote on which one they want to use, whatever you want. I had just gotten in the Winterberry apple tea, so I had that one out. People really liked that. I had sea salt and avocado was really popular, as well as the blue grotto and go-go mango. So those were my most popular ones. And what I did was I set them up really nice. I wish I had taken a picture. I was looking through my phone today thinking, I really hope I took a picture of that because it looked so nice, but I didn't. So yeah, so much for that. But I set them all up, and then I also put out a bath bomb so that people could see what it looked like, even though we weren't using bath bombs. I didn't have a lot, so I didn't really offer it to them to try, but I said, hey, you can take a look at this bath bomb and, you know, smell it and see what it's like and see how they, you know, put it together by hand. Excuse me. And then I also had the Go-Go Mango Fragrance Mist out, as well as the Pineapple Coconut Vanilla one. These were both from my personal stash. I mean, I've had this 2 months now. Yeah, because I got it right after it came out, and you can see I've barely used like any of it, so I didn't mind sharing for people because I don't put it on like once or twice a week. So so it wasn't a big deal for me to share those, and people didn't mind sharing my perfume, so it's not like other things. So, and then I also had hand soap, hand cream, hand lotion, and the body cream. I didn't actually have current creams and lotions out because I haven't gone through mine. I don't buy new until I've gone through what I have. So mostly I had those out kind of as like a, here's the size, this is how it comes, but this scent isn't available right now. If you want to use it, go ahead. If not, just know this is the size, which is always the easiest way, I think, to do it. If you don't have what's current, show them something comparable so they at least know what size. And then I also had out a few warmers. While warmers weren't necessarily the focus of this party, I did still have them out because I knew I had new people who had never seen Scentsy before. And you never know, if somebody sees something they like, they might buy it. So actually, I sold my last gingerbread man warmer that night, and it had sold out like the day before. And I was like, oh, well, here you go. You can have this one. So thankfully, I hadn't used it yet. And then the last thing that we needed was I told everybody who had them to bring them, but for those who didn't have one readily available, I went to the dollar store and bought these little dish pan things. They're $1, and they fit 2 feet very well. And it's nice too because you don't have to fill them with a ton of water. And then I think I had 4 or 5 of those, and most people brought their own. But for those who didn't, or for people who brought a guest who didn't know, we had extra, which was nice. And also line your floor with towels so that when they get out, they don't make a mess all over your floor. Last thing was the food. I did just a couple of little spa type things. Like I did a veggie tray, which is super easy. You can either pre-purchase those or you can cut up the vegetables yourself. And then some other spa themed snacks. I did like mini cheesecakes and cucumber bite things. They're just things I found on Pinterest that looked spa themed. So after I had gotten all that all together, people started coming. I made sure I had a catalog and all of the relevant flyers for everybody. We sat down and we started digging into the soaks. Everybody got to pick one soak to do their feet, or some people chose to do their hands. And while we were doing that, we played games. So, because you have to get at least 20 minutes in the soaks to get any of the benefits of the Epsom salts and stuff, which was, so that made it easy to like keep them sitting there to play games. Because sometimes I've been to parties where we'll play games, but if the game's not super quick moving, people will like get up and walk out of the room and go get snacks or whatever. And it's a lot easier if you have them trapped there with their feet stuck in the water, because they don't want to get up because they're like, oh, I'm relaxing. Excuse me. So the two games I played were Find It in the Catalog, which if you guys want, I can post my version of it. I do every season, I go through the catalog, all the different pages, and I come up with little cutesy rhymes of, for example, like the diffuser page is like, with instant fragrance and blah, 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 diffusers are the perfect blah, blah, blah. And they have to find what page in the catalog that's on. And the first one gets a point. Whoever has the most points at the end gets to pick something out of my extras basket, which is just bars that I have laying around that I'm not going to use, or it's the scent of the month or something like that. Anything that I've gotten for free, basically, that I don't mind giving away so that it's not money out of my pocket. And then the other game we played was Never Have I Ever, which was supposed to lead into my hosting game, but then we ran out of time because we took a little while with just getting settled in and eating the food and everything. I was going to do, there was actually a game I learned from the Tupperware lady. She did party at my house, and what it was she passed around a basket, and you could take a packet out of the basket, and you could choose to open it. And inside the packet was one of two options. You either got a free thing from her extras basket, or you had to agree and pick a date for a party that night. But you had to choose whether or not you wanted to open it. So it was up to you. Do I want to take the chance and get something free? Or am I willing at this point to host a party? Which worked very well because she got a lot of bookings, and I wish I had had time to do that one, but it just didn't, the way the party worked, it didn't work out. But there's a suggestion for you guys if you guys want to try it in the future. I think that's pretty much about all I've got. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or I'm going to just give it back to Jess.
Okay, I'm so excited. I love how you explained everything like very clearly. I have tons of notes myself. To me, this sounds so fun. Like just to get some ladies together and just to get them all. And I love how you said it's true. Like when you're having a party, you really can't tell them to not get up while you're talking to go get something to drink or to eat. But when you got them in the tubs, they really can't do anything. That's really awesome. I love that. So I do have a question. I had no idea that you have to soak for 20 minutes to get the benefits of the Epsom salt. Where'd you learn that from?
Oh, I looked up. So part of my party prep was like trying to really push the soaks. I looked up because I know Epsom salt has a lot of benefits. I found some different facts, like 10 different things about it. And to get the full benefits, you need to soak for at least 20 minutes to get the magnesium absorbed into your skin.
Wow.
It helps you relax. It relieves stress. It's great.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I've been using Epsom salt forever. I used to be an aerialist, so I would have sore muscles and I never knew that. I mean, I'm like, I don't even know if I stayed in the bath for 20 minutes like, trying to help myself. Maybe that's why it never worked. Because I'm one of those tub people. I get real anxious and I'm just like, okay, this is great, but now I'm bored. I want to get out. Like,
gotta bring a book.
So thank you for sharing that. That's such a great, very important tip. So you said you displayed your soaks on the tray. Did you just have them all in the bag, or did you put them in little bowls, or how did you put them all in the tray?
So at the beginning of the party, none of my soaks were open because most of them I had either just gotten or I hadn't opened them yet. So I lined them up back to back.
Okay.
I had 4 on the tray, and then I had the Winterberry apple tea was up with all of the holiday collection stuff. And then so they were facing out. So no matter which way they were looking at the tray, they could see, oh, there's a soak right there in my face.
Oh.
So yeah. I put it on like, so I have a sectional couch, and then I put it on the ottoman in the middle. So it was right in front of their faces.
Oh,
so.
Okay. What was your most popular soak that people chose to try?
Probably sea salt avocado, followed closely by Winterberry apple tea, which I'm really sold out.
And then did you end up buying that same scent, or?
We had a couple people buy that one, and then they also bought Lucky in Love, even though I don't think anybody tried that one actually. But that was, they were smelling the testers later on, and that was one of the scents they liked. So they're like, well, I'll get that one in the soak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even if they didn't try that specific scent, they still bought others.
So there's something about Lucky in Love that I don't know if everybody knows, so I'm just going to share. It's actually the exact same fragrance as Love Spell and Victoria's Secret. Yes. So what I used to do when I first started Scentsy is I would go get Victoria's Secret bags from Victoria's Secret. I'd ask them if I can have a couple extra. And I would put, when we got, it was layers back then. It was like 2012 when we just came out with the body products, but I would put Lucky in Love layers products inside the bag as like a prize. And it would be kind of my incentive to book parties. And it was like, you get something in this bag, and they thought they were getting Victoria's Secret, but then I would be introducing the Lucky in Love layers, now body products. And it went really well. Like people, cause they're like, everybody knows Victoria's Secret. So they're like, ooh, I want that, you know? And so it incentivized them. They're like, I don't care what it is. I want to book a party because I want what's in there, you know? So that was just a little tip from my end. I think I asked all the questions that I have so far. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or anything to share? If you've done spa product games or anything, just go ahead and mute. I'm going to check on the Facebook part to see if anybody's commented. Any questions?
Hi, Lauren, it's Cindy. You were talking about the passing around the basket. So it was kind of like, is it kind of like, let's make a deal, either you choose or you don't?
So what she did was she started out, okay, everybody take a container, because she was the Tupperware lady. She had all these little mini containers. So for us, I would do like either like gift bags, pick a gift bag off the table or whatever. And she said, but don't open it. And then she explained, if you choose to open it, you have one of 2 options. You can either get an item out of my box, or there's a possibility that you'll have to book a party. So if you open this, realize that you have to do whatever's on that paper, but it's your choice whether or not you want to open it. So she went around the room. Okay, do you want to open yours? Okay. Open up. If you got a free item, you had the option, like if you were going to go ahead and host anyway, you could get another one and open it up and see if you were just going to get another free item or a party. And then people, if they didn't want to open it, they would give it back. So I thought it was a really cool way, because I've seen her do it a couple times, and she got 3 or 4 parties every single time. So
it's kind of like the dice game. People play different, like they either do, like I do it with little purses, and inside, like if they pick a purse, then they have to promise that they'll either take the discount or the prize, or they book a party if that's what they get. Like you have to honor it. Like you can't play until you're honoring that whatever you roll, whatever's inside either the envelope or the little purses that I have. It's this kind of the same idea, and it is definitely a good I think that's how one of my people did book at that party, is through that, is that she got one of the book a party things. So she went and grabbed the beads because she knew she had a book party anyways, because that's what she got in her purse. That's a really good game. It's actually a very good way to get parties booked. Let me see if I have any more questions that I wrote down that, let's see. I really like that game that you shared about finding the catalog. Can you please post that, your
Oh,
version,
yeah.
on our Angels page? That would be awesome. I'd love to see that.
I'll pop that. Do you want me to just put it in the files for everybody?
Yeah, that would be perfect. And then, okay, did you have, because this was spa focused, but you did have warmers and other products kind of available, did you have people buy other products other than Body Line?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I had actually the majority of the stuff I ended up selling was just normal, like warmers, wax. So I carried it over to the first because at the party I passed out the November scent of the month flyers and then samples, since the October warmer had already sold out at that point. And I had 2 people who were interested in this specifically. So we waited to put in the order till November 1st. So also on that day, bricks were released. So I had a couple people who wanted bricks. I had 2 people who wanted that specifically. I had a lot of people ordered like holiday collection stuff, like advent calendar, they're sitting right here, Roma porcelain. Like looking at it, I can't even read it. It's upside down. So embarrassing. And then I had a couple flowers as well because I had that on the table with the soaks.
Oh, that's a nice display. Yeah, great way to market that. Nice.
And they were also a big fan of, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures going around of the people who color their flowers. I know it avoids the warranty, but if it still works.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yes.
So people were really excited about that. They thought that was cool. And then obviously the girl the girl who I thought might host, I forgot she's not in her own house yet because they're waiting to buy until the spring. Right now they're living with her in-laws because they just moved here from Texas actually. Okay. And so she just straight out bought her diffuser. So that was a huge help.
Yes.
Yeah. And she got that and then and then I sold a lot of the wall fan diffusers too, because a lot of my people hadn't seen those yet. So yeah, we had quite a variety.
Yeah. So when the bricks were announced but you've already done the party, how did you get that information to them?
So I have a lady who every year she has ordered bricks.
Okay.
Her husband is a huge fan of Very Snowy Spruce. And last year alone, she went through 5 bricks of it.
Oh,
and
wow.
So as soon as I was like, oh yeah, it's November, it's bricks, I texted her and I was like, hey, so they just announced the bricks and Very Snowy Spruce is available again. Do you want some? She goes, I'll take 2. Nice. So that was like, right after, yeah. And then my mom got a couple too because she loves the bricks. And then I got some for myself too.
Yeah. Don't we all, huh? We always have to get but I love that because you shared how it's almost 4 years, and that's when you're in this business and you have these great clients, you start to know what they like and what they love. And so like you link a product or a fragrance to a customer, like Very Snowy Smooth, bam, you know who you're going to get a sale from. It's so awesome. I love that. Oh my goodness. I'm just, see, because I'm not creative at all. So I love how you shared, like you got the towels and you put it in the crock pot. I wouldn't have thought to do that. So I'm so happy you shared that.
Oh yeah, be careful with that. Don't put them on high and then forget about them, because I actually burned some of mine because I left them on overnight and all the water dried out and there were little burn marks on the creases on the edge. So be careful with that. Make sure you put a lot of water in there at the beginning if you're going to have it on for a while. So.
Okay. Good little FYI. Awesome.
Or else you might set your house on fire. I don't know.
Right. Oh, okay. So I do have a question. Did anybody want to try physically, like the hand soap or the body cream, after they got out of the water? Did they ask to try anything?
I had a couple people take me up on the body cream for their feet. Okay. But by then we had kind of moved on to other things. And so they were passing around the testers at that point.
Okay.
and the oils as well. So people were like too busy sniffing to notice, oh, my feet are done. I need to do something to follow up with. But there were a couple who are like spa people who go all the time, and they were like, I need lotion. So here you go. So it just depended on the person, because some people, they had never soaked their feet in their life. And then other people were like, I do this all the time. I know afterwards I need to moisturize. So yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I was like, she froze.
Yeah, you too. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what happened?
So if you didn't catch it, depended on the person. The people who knew moisturized, the people who didn't.
Okay. That
So.
makes sense. But I love that it's a different way to get people together. They come there, they leave feeling pampered, even if they didn't buy the product per se. They had an experience, and there was more of a reason to come other than just to buy their product. So I love that. I really, really love that. I am so excited to do one of these now. I'm gonna seriously be, I have a few people in mind that I'm gonna be like, all right, you're gonna be my guinea pig, you're gonna be my hostess.
Awesome. So, it's definitely been my favorite kind of party I've done, because I've done, I think, 4 or 5 just like of my own parties. I try to do at least one for me each year. And I try to do a theme every year, and spa party is definitely number 1.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Lauren. Before we let Lauren go and us wrap everything up, is anybody, Melissa or Cindy, do you guys have any other comments or questions?
I have a question. Hello, I'm Melissa. So I've always done just like regular home parties, and so I'm curious about your timeline. Like, I don't know how to do, like, I see the art, like the craft parties, and like I can't wrap my head around the timeline. So how did you did you have the tubs like already filled with water? Like how did you do it?
Yeah, so the first 30 minutes of my parties, I always like get everybody in the door, because I have a lot of people who just show up as late as 30 minutes late. And so the first 30 minutes is always food, kind of sitting down. People can look through the catalog if they want. They can sit and chit chat, whatever they want. Then 30 minutes in, I started with, okay, so here's the reason we're here. We're going to all try these soaks. So we opened up the soaks. I had water on the stove in my 2 big soup pots, kind of not quite boiling, but warm. And so from there, I brought it over, poured it into everybody's. I did have somebody there to help me with like distributing water to everybody, which made it go a little bit smoother. And then, oh, that's another thing. For those of us who like to scoop, I keep all of my washer whiff scoops and use those for the soaks. And I tell people, and if I have extra, when somebody buys one, I give them a washer whiff scoop and say, hey, here's a scoop that you can use. I use 4 scoops for a bathtub, 1 scoop or 2 scoops for feet, whatever, and just kind of give them like roughly how much I use. But I said, it's up to you how much you want to use. So I had scoops for all of the different soaks. I had 1 scoop for every soak. And then I let them scoop their own soaks. Obviously, I let them open them. A few of them were kind of not open very nicely. So for me, I'm a little OCD with opening them, and I usually use scissors, but I let them go at it and cut the rest of them later. This one's almost empty, so I didn't bother with it. But and then after I got everybody situated, we started immediately with the catalog game, which for me, the reason I like the catalog game that I do is it takes me through the entire catalog out of order, but in my order. Like I start with like why Scentsy is around, what we do. And then I jump all the way over to, now to get you guys here, I had to clean my house. And what did I use? My Scentsy Clean stuff. So here's my little rhyme about Scentsy Clean. And here you go. What page is that on? And so we went through all the different steps of either getting ready for the party or what I would do in a typical day. And I go through the catalog that way. And because that gets us through the whole catalog and it's a game, people tend to stay more engaged with that. So that way I'm not just talking for long periods of time, because I'm getting feedback from them, because they'll ask questions on different pages and stuff like that. And I give extra points for questions as well. I forgot to mention that. And then after that one, we did a quick like 5-minute break for people who wanted seconds. I actually brought the food around because people were still soaking their feet at that point because they didn't want to get up. And then we also refilled water for people whose water had gotten cold. We gave them more warm water so that they could soak longer if they wanted. And then we went into the second game. That took about 10-15 minutes. And then I passed around testers and I passed around oils, and people went crazy looking through, and here, I want to order. Here's, I'm done. Here we go. All right, hey, I gotta leave. Sorry, but I've got, kids at home waiting for me. Also, I did this with my 2 children running around as well. I didn't have anybody to watch them that night. And so they were soaking their feet too and jumping around in the soaks and showing everybody how much they love the soaks, because my kids love them all the time. They're like, Mommy, can we have green water in the bathtub? So that was another nice thing, because even kids love Scentsy soaks. So does that help a little bit?
Oh yeah.
I mostly, I plan it out and try to stick to it. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. You just kind of make it work as best you can. And for example, I didn't have time for the hosting game as much as I really wanted to do it. It just didn't work out. So I tossed it and I said, next time I'll start with that. So.
And then my Wi-Fi kicked me off and put me back on when you were talking about the towels. And then I got snippets of what Jessie said in the crock pot.
Okay.
Can you explain that again real quick? Do you mind?
So I found it on Pinterest. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I took them and I wrapped them up. I fold them in half and then quarters and then roll them. And I can fit about 10 or 12 in like that. And then you put them all in the crock pot, pour water over the top. I put about 2 cups for 10 of these, because by the time they get heated up, it does evaporate out a little bit. And then pass them around, but don't leave it on because you might burn them. And they were hot enough on low that you almost burn your hands. So I do recommend getting either your kitchen tongs or like plastic throwaway tongs and using that to like hand them to people, because when you initially pick them up, they're really hot, but they cool off pretty fast enough to bring them over to the people.
So are they
fancy? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are they like to wipe off the feet? Like, what do you, I'm not a spa person, so I have no idea.
So hot towels are just kind of a relaxing thing. People put them on their necks. People put them on their legs when they're getting like sugar scrubs done. A lot of what inspired this was I went on a cruise and I went into the spa and they had hot towels available whenever you wanted them. So I thought, well, that's kind of spa-y, so I will throw in some hot towels, and this was the best thing I could come up with. So
do you have to drink the water out of them, or?
Oh no, 2 cups barely got them wet enough.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Because it evaporated. So to be honest, I put them in at the beginning of the day because I wanted to see like how hot they would get. So I had them on all day, and I just kept having to put more water in because the water would evaporate out pretty fast.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And then I left them on overnight and burned them. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So do you have like an estimate of like from start to finish how long the party was, like of everybody showing up and then like by the last person left? I
started my party at 6:30, which I feel is a really good time for people around here because most people can get here by 7. And then we finished around 8:30. In between 8:30 and 9. My mom stayed later because she's my mom and she was watching the grandchildren run around like crazy.
Mom gets to stay as long as she wants.
So yeah, about 2 hours roughly, just between every little thing that we did and then getting orders in. So,
and that's 2 hours is really cool because generally like from leaving my doorstep to coming back to my doorstep is usually 4 hours. Like, because I come early to a party to set up, but since it's at your house, you kill that time. You don't have to drive there. You don't have to set up. Everything's already set. Like, I mean, you have to set up, but you don't have to factor that in. That, like, you can set up the night before if you want to, like, just to get out of your way. So 2 hours is actually a really nice little in and out, get it done type thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I am going to check one more time. I don't see anybody's comments or anything, but that might, if you are commenting on Facebook and I don't see it, I'm sorry, just go ahead and I'll check again. And then just if you have a question directly for Lauren, just tag her on the post and I'm sure she will be happy to answer. Am I correct, Lauren?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I would assume so.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you so much. Just so you guys know, Lauren's been sick all weekend too. And so she like didn't even know she would have a voice today. And she messaged me today saying, so far so good, I can talk. So we were like playing it by ear. So thank you so much for taking the time after being sick all week. I totally feel for you. So and thank you for sharing this awesome. You got me so excited. I'm about to do something I've never done before. So thank you.
I can't wait to hear about yours.
All right. Well,
awesome.
Oh, I'll definitely share with you. I will. I'll be like, oh my gosh, let me tell you.
Can I ask one more question?
Oh yeah, sure.
What is your chair?
Oh, we got it at Micro Center. This is, so we do a lot of gaming in my house and I'm in front of my computer quite a bit. So this is my gaming chair. It's
Is it
very
a green
comfortable.
screen wall in the back?
Yes, we do live streaming, and so and we're gonna do Christmas down here, and we're gonna video it, and we'll be able to change the background to like snow if we want. So yeah, we paint up the wall
so
green.
cool.
It's like
Just
my
for half
son's
the room
dream.
though. So yeah, green wall. It works really well when I do Facebook Lives because I can set it up with a custom background that has like the Scentsy logo on it, which is really nice.
What?
Wow.
That's so cool.
My husband's super techie, so.
Well, man, I need to talk to that dude. That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you all that were on live. Thank you, Lauren, again, for taking your time to share with us all of your awesomeness. And we will see you guys next Monday. In case you're new, every Monday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, except for major holidays. Or if for something comes up and I just can't make it, like last Monday, I didn't have a voice, so I couldn't be on the call. So, all right. Thank you guys. Love you and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Oh, bring your testers. If you're going somewhere else, just a little tip. Never assume that people aren't going to be interested in smelling Scentsy because they're unbuckling their top belt and they're stuffed and they were sitting around and they could be smelling your scent. So make sure you bring your business with you wherever you go. All right. Bye, guys.